Ladies and gentlemen, we often pray for breakthroughs, for big things, for divine opportunities to fall into our lives. We want the mountaintop moment, the stage, the spotlight, the open door. And yet when those doors don't open as quickly as we hoped, when the answers are delayed or the blessing seems far off, it's easy to assume that we've been denied. But more often than not, what feels like delay is really divine preparation. It's not rejection. It's refinement. Think about it. God does not send overflow into containers that are not yet equipped to hold it. A blessing that comes too soon can be just as destructive as a burden. Timing is not just about readiness of the moment, it's about the readiness of you. If you are asking for something big, you must become big enough to carry it. And that growth often happens in silence, in the background, in the shadows, where no one sees the work being done. Consider a seed. When it's planted, it disappears beneath the soil. From the surface, it looks like nothing is happening. But deep in the dark, that seed is cracking open, being pushed by pressure, drawn by the light it cannot see yet. Roots are forming. Foundations are being built. That seed is preparing itself to break the ground, to rise up and eventually bear. But it cannot skip the dark phase. The darkness is not punishment, it's process. In the same way, when God is about to give you something big, He begins by digging deep into your character. He works on your patience. He tests your discipline. He stretches your ability to trust. He checks whether your intentions are aligned with your purpose. He removes relationships that no longer serves you. He quiets distractions. He doesn't just want you to have the blessing. He wants you to be able to hold it, protect it, and multiply it. And that kind of readiness doesn't come from a single prayer or a flash of emotion. It comes from the grind, from doing the right thing when no one is watching, from showing up when you feel like giving up, from being faithful with the small before you're handed the great. It's developed in seasons where it feels like no progress is being made, when you're giving your best and it seems like there's no reward. But that's the moment when your foundation is being laid. The deeper the foundation, the taller the structure can be. Ask yourself this: if God gave you exactly what you're praying for right now, would you truly be ready for it? Could you handle the responsibility? Could you sustain the weight of it without grumbling? Would your character be strong enough to support your calling? Many people want to be seen, but few prepare for the weight of being visible. Many ask for wealth, but never learn how to manage what they already have. Many seek influence, but haven't yet mastered integrity. So God, in His wisdom, withholds what we think we're ready for, not because He's cruel, but because He cares too much to let the gift destroy us. That's what preparation is. It's divine protection in disguise. During the preparation season, it's easy to grow frustrated. It's easy to compare your journey with someone else's highlight reel and start to believe you've been forgotten. But understand, God's timeline is not your timeline. While others may be rising quickly, what's being built in you has a different purpose, a different depth. Don't envy the speed of someone else's elevation if you're called to go higher. The taller the skyscraper, the deeper the foundation must be dug. So when it feels like you're going backward, when life feels like a setback, maybe you're not going back at all, maybe you're just going deeper. And that depth will matter when the wind comes. Because every big thing, every calling, every platform, every promise will be tested. What's easy to gain without effort is just as easy to lose. But what's earned through discipline, through fire, through faith, that's the kind of success that lasts. That's the kind of gift that grows. So if you find yourself in a waiting season, don't despise it, lean into it. Ask, what is this season trying to teach me? Are you being trained in patience? Are you being molded into a more focused, resilient version of yourself? Are you being asked to clean out your heart so when the blessing arrives, there's room for it to stay? Don't pray for the mountain and reject the climb. Don't ask for greatness and avoid the grind. Every mighty tree was once a seed in the dirt, but it didn't get to the sky by skipping the storm. The storm is part of the shaping, The wait is part of the wisdom. When God is about to give you something big, He doesn't rush the process. He makes sure you're strong enough to stand in the place He's preparing for you. Because what good is it to reach the top if you lose yourself getting there? What good is success if your soul is unready to handle it? So embrace the process. Own the preparation. Trust that if you're in a season of being stretched, tested, or even broken, it's not the end of your story. It's the beginning of something bigger than you imagined. It's proof that you're being set apart, that something significant is being built within you. And when the moment arrives, and it will, you won't just receive the blessing, you'll be ready for it. That's the kind of victory that preparation produces. So don't lose heart, don't walk away, don't let go, because God is not punishing you. He's preparing you, and what He's preparing you for is big. There's a powerful truth that often gets overlooked in the pursuit of dreams and divine favor. What you receive is directly connected to what you believe. Not just what you hope for or casually wish might happen, but what you truly believe deep in your soul when no one is watching and when circumstances don't look promising. Faith is not a passive concept. It is active, alive, and creative. It sets spiritual laws into motion. It speaks into the invisible and expects the visible to obey. Faith doesn't wait for evidence. It creates it. If you want to receive something big, you have to believe something big. You have to be bold enough to stretch your imagination beyond your environment, beyond your past, beyond your current limitations. You have to see yourself in rooms you've never entered, handling opportunities you've never touched, walking in blessings that are not yet in your possession, but already alive in your mind. Too often, people shrink their dreams to match their circumstances. They lower their expectations because they've been disappointed. They play small, not because they lack potential, but because they lack belief. And without faith, you sabotage the very thing you were meant to receive. The blessing may be prepared, the opportunity may be right at your doorstep, but if your faith doesn't rise to the level of the promise, you'll never reach out and take hold of it. Faith is the bridge between the invisible and the tangible. It is the spiritual currency that buys what money can't purchase. When you walk in faith, you're not just wishing. You're knowing. You're declaring with your actions, your attitude, and your mindset that you trust what you cannot see more than what's staring you in the face. That kind of faith attracts miracles. That kind of faith changes outcomes. That kind of faith changes you. You were never meant to live a life of limitation, but life will try to convince you otherwise. It will present facts and failures and statistics and setbacks to make you step staircase, but faith says take the next step anyway. And with each step, your belief grows. With each act of obedience, your vision becomes clearer. And with every bold move, your world begins to shift. Faith is not about faking it. It's about facing it. Facing uncertainty with courage. Facing setbacks with resilience. Facing the unknown with confidence. That what's ahead is greater than what's behind. It's deciding that even when you don't know how, you trust who. That even when you don't feel ready, you believe the preparation is already done. There is no limit to what you can receive except the limits you place on your own belief. God is not holding back because He's unsure about your worth. He's waiting for you to believe it. He's already placed the vision inside you, planted the dream, sparked the desire. Now He's waiting for you to align your faith with that calling, not in theory, but in action, in consistency, in how you carry yourself every day. Faith without action is fantasy, but faith in motion becomes a magnet for the miraculous. When you walk like it's already yours, speak like it's already happening, prepare like you've already received it, you draw the blessing to you. Because faith opens doors no man can shut. Faith silences the noise of doubt and raises the volume of destiny. Faith calls things that are not as though they were, and then acts like they are. So if you're praying for something big, stop second-guessing whether you're qualified. Stop replaying the failures of your past. Stop waiting for everyone to believe in your vision. Instead, rise in faith. Declare what's yours. Take steps that scare you. Go with the confidence that what's meant for you cannot miss you unless you walk away from it because you didn't believe it could really be yours. Faith changes everything. It transforms how you think, how you speak, how you wait, and how you prepare. It pushes you forward when logic says stay put. It stirs your soul when comfort whispers compromise. It keeps you moving even when the road is unclear, because you trust that the one who gave you the vision has already made a way. So the next time you ask for something big, ask boldly, believe fully, move faithfully, because the size of your blessing will never be greater than the size of your belief. It's one thing to receive a promise. It's another thing entirely to be ready for it. We often focus so much on the outcome, on the breakthrough, the answered prayer, the big dream, that we forget there's a version of ourselves that must be built to carry it. God doesn't give us promises just to excite us. He gives them to elevate us, to call us higher, to pull us into alignment with who we were always meant to be. But here's the truth. Your destiny is not waiting on your dream. It's waiting on your development. Every great promise demands a great person to steward it. And that person is not created in the spotlight but in the shadows. Not in comfort but in the fire. Not in applause but in quiet obedience. Before God places something big in your hands, He first makes sure your hands are strong enough, clean enough, disciplined, enough to hold it without dropping it or worse, destroying it. We love the idea of promotion, but most people forget that promotion comes with pressure. It comes with responsibility, with weight, with spiritual and emotional demands that we don't always see from the outside. That's why the process is not a punishment. It's protection. You're not being held back. You're being prepared. Because what's coming isn't just a blessing. It's a calling. And callings come with cost. Think about the person you are today versus the person you were 5 years ago. Now ask yourself honestly, could the old version of you handle what you're praying for now? Could that version lead with wisdom? Could that version withstand criticism? Could that version sustain success without self-sabotage? Probably not. And that's not shame. It's growth. Because what's required at the next level is always a more refined version of who you are. This is why the delay often has less to do with the dream and more to do with the dreamer. You may be asking God for something enormous, a platform, a business, a marriage, a mission, but if you're not yet the person who can carry it, the very thing you long for could crush you, and God loves you too much to let your promise arrive before your preparation is complete. Now this is where the internal work matters more than anything else. You can build skills, you can gain followers, you can achieve recognition, but if your character isn't strong, it will all collapse eventually. You don't rise by shortcuts, you rise by becoming. Becoming someone trustworthy, someone consistent, someone mature enough to hold power without pride and walk in authority without arrogance. Character is forged in the moments no one sees. When you choose honesty over ease, discipline over distraction, forgiveness over resentment. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you're becoming more of the person who can stand in the fullness of your calling. And every time you avoid the lesson, you delay the blessing. This is why trials are so essential. They reveal what comfort hides. They bring to the surface the flaws that success can mask. If you've been through hard seasons, if life has stripped things away, if you've walked through loss, rejection, or silence, it's not because you were forgotten. It's because you were being formed. Formed to be unshakable, formed to have empathy, formed to lead without your identity being tied to status. You can't skip this stage. You can't pray your way around becoming the person your purpose requires. You can't fast-track maturity. Growth is inconvenient. It hurts. It will stretch you, confront you, humble you. But it will also free you. It will strip away your false selves, your people-pleasing, your insecurity, your ego. And in that process, you begin to transform. The version of you that will receive the promise is not the version that first heard it. There is a journey of becoming that has to unfold. God is not just trying to give you something, He's trying to make you someone. Someone who can build and not break. Someone who can carry favor without forfeiting integrity. Someone who can be trusted with influence, not controlled by it. It's in the waiting seasons, the hidden seasons, the refining seasons, that the most important shifts happen. Your mindset changes, your resilience grows, your spirit deepens. You begin to see that the promise is not a prize for your performance, it's a place for your purpose. And purpose requires identity, not just activity. You have to know who you are before you can lead others, before you can carry vision, before you can steward abundance. And so, when you feel like nothing is moving, when the doors aren't opening yet, don't just ask, why is this taking so long? Ask instead, what is this season making of me? What habits is it demanding I release? What truths is it teaching me to embrace? What patterns is it confronting? Because all of it is shaping you into the person you need to become to walk fully in what's next. The promise will stretch you. It will ask for more of you. It will not feel like a rival, it will feel like responsibility. And when you're at it, you'll welcome it. Not because you need it to define you, but because you've been prepared to handle it. It won't validate your worth, it will simply reflect the worth that has already been developed within you. The most powerful thing you can do today is invest in the inner work. Align your habits with your calling. Speak life over your identity. Forgive what's behind you, discipline what's within you, and trust that the version of you being shaped in this season is exactly who you'll need to be to rise in the next one. You don't have to force the blessing. You don't have to manipulate the outcome. You just have to become the kind of person who's ready to receive it. And when you do, when the time is right, the doors will open, not because you chased them down, but because you were finally ready to walk through them. You were made for something big, but first you must become someone bigger, not in ego, but in spirit, not in visibility, but in substance. That's where the real preparation lies. That's where the true power lives, because when you become the person who can handle the promise, you won't just receive it, you'll keep it, you'll grow it, you'll protect it, and you'll use it not just for your own elevation, but for the impact and purpose it was always meant to serve. Faith isn't just something you feel, it's something you do. If you believe that something big is on the way, if you trust that God is preparing a blessing for you, then your life should reflect that belief long before the blessing arrives. Too often we wait to see before we believe, we wait for confirmation before we take action, but that's not how faith operates. S. Faith moves first. It speaks first. It acts first. It plants seeds before the rain shows up and builds the ark before there's a cloud in the sky. When you know deep within that God is about to do something big in your life, the way you carry yourself must shift. There should be a difference in your walk, in your talk, in your energy. You stop reacting to circumstances and start responding to vision. You stop being guided by fear and start being moved by expectation. You begin preparing your life like someone who's already received the answer. This isn't about pretending or performing. It's not about trying to fool people into thinking everything is already perfect. It's about alignment. Alignment between your belief and your behavior. Because what you truly believe will always show up in how you show up. If you really believe that you're stepping into a season of abundance, you start making room for it. You declutter your habits, your space, your circle. You stretch your capacity. You upgrade your mindset. You don't wait to see it. You live like it's coming. That's the essence of walking in faith. It's building the runway before the plane ever appears. It's preparing the nursery before the baby is conceived. It's practicing the speech before the stage is booked. It's waking up each day with discipline and purpose because you know the door is coming. And when it does, you want to be ready to walk through it, not scramble in panic. Many people never step into their promise because they're waiting for a sign that it's time. But what they don't realize is the sign is already in their spirit. That stirring you feel, that whisper of purpose, that nudge to prepare, that's your confirmation. You don't need the world to tell you you're ready. You need to start acting like the version of yourself that's already there. This isn't easy. Acting like it's already done can feel uncomfortable. It may feel unnatural at first to move with boldness when you're surrounded by uncertainty. It may feel risky to speak life into something that hasn't manifested yet, but that's exactly what makes it powerful. It shows trust. It shows alignment. It shows that your faith is not tied to evidence, but to expectation. And the truth is, every step you take in faith creates momentum. When you start preparing as if it's already yours, you start to attract opportunities, ideas, people, and resources that match that energy. You begin to rise, not because everything around you has changed, but because you've changed. You're no longer waiting, you're becoming. You're no longer doubting, you're declaring. You're no longer sitting on the sidelines hoping for a chance. You're living like you've already been called into the game. That kind of belief makes you magnetic. That kind of energy shifts atmospheres. People begin to sense something different about you. They may not be able to put their finger on it, but they know something's coming. And that something is you, stepping fully into your purpose. Acting like it's already done also shifts your language. You stop saying if this happens and start saying when this happens. You stop talking about your dream like it's a fantasy and start referring to it like a destination you're already on your way to. Like referring to a golf club buff becomes a genuine mystic and predestined fantasy, you start referring to it like a destination you're already on your way to. Your words become sharper, clearer, more confident, and your words begin to shape your world. Because what you speak consistently is what you begin to see. The universe doesn't respond to hesitation, it responds to clarity. This is also where discipline comes in. You can't act like it's already done on Monday and then live in fear on Tuesday. Faith is a daily choice. It's not a mood, it's a mindset. You have to practice the promise, practice the patience, practice the preparation. Even when it feels like nothing is moving, remind yourself, faith is always working behind the scenes. Just because you haven't seen it yet doesn't mean it's not on the way. Think of it like planting a seed. Once you put that seed in the ground, you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You water it, you protect it, you expect it to grow. Why? Because you believe in the power of the process. The same applies to your dream, your goal, your breakthrough. Once you planted it with faith, your job is to act like harvest is inevitable. Your actions are the water. Your preparation is the sunlight. Your expectation is the atmosphere that causes it to bloom. This doesn't mean life will always be smooth. You'll still face opposition, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But when you've already decided to move in faith, those challenges won't derail you. They'll refine you. They'll test your resolve, yes, but they'll also make you stronger. Because when you're acting like it's already done, you don't just have hope, you have vision. And vision keeps you focused when emotions try to pull you off course. One of the most powerful things you can do is live like the version of you who already received the blessing. Ask yourself, how would I think if I had already made it? How would I move? Who would I spend time with? What habits would I have? What boundaries would I enforce? Then start living that way now. Don't wait for life to hand you the dream. Become the person who draws the dream to them by how they show up every day. This is not arrogance, this is alignment. It's faith that walks, speaks, and builds, even when there's no applause yet, even when there's no confirmation yet, even when others don't understand what you're doing. Because you're not living based on what others can see, you're living based on what you know is coming. You may not know how, you may not know when, but when your faith says it's already done, your life should echo that belief in every step you take. So show up like it's yours, speak like it's done, Build like it's coming.